Hello there YouTube, welcome back to the channel. So in today's tutorial, we're going to build together this particular website you're looking at called Real World Entertainment. It's a fictional website for events. The idea here is that users or guests, they can come into this site and they can take a look at all the upcoming events from around the world. They can preview each particular event. So say for example, Comic-Con San Diego 2022, they can take a look at the date for the event, the venue, the organizer information, things like that. And then very importantly, they can also decide to buy tickets to the particular event. So say for example, they wanted to buy the standard tickets, they can purchase the tickets via PayPal or Stripe. As you can see from the page right here, they will have the option to pay either with PayPal or with Stripe. So this is the site we're going to build together using a very powerful plugin called the Events Calendar plugin. Easily the best plugin for creating events on your WordPress website. Now this particular plugin has both a free version and a paid version. We're going to work with the free version first to build out this site you're looking at. And then later on, I'll show you what you can do with the paid version of the plugin. So this means that you can take this tutorial without having to buy the paid version. The paid version just offers some additional perks, which I'll show you what they are, but you don't necessarily need to buy the plugin in order to build this site. We're going to install some additional plugins to help with building out the site. Don't worry, I'll walk you through all of them. But if you do decide to buy the paid version of the plugin, maybe after the tutorial you feel like, you know what, I want to buy the paid version of the Events Calendar plugin. I am an affiliate, so please use my link in the box below. What that means is that if you buy the plugin using my link, I will get a very small commission. So it's a great way to support me and support what I'm doing here in the channel. I will have all the necessary timestamps in the box below, so if you're interested in watching a particular tutorial, you can check out the timestamps just to give you a further tour of the particular site we're going to build. This is the homepage right here. We're going to have the main banner, welcome to Real World Entertainment, some text, and then we'll have a section for the upcoming events. There'll be another section for musical shows specifically. There'll be a section for sporting events, and then there will also be a section for the past events. And then of course we'll have our footer down there as well. We're also going to have a calendar page where you would see the events in a different kind of format. So in here, users can comment, they can search for events, and they can take a look at all the events at a glance. There will also be the timeline page where users will be able to view the events in a particular beautiful timeline format. And then of course there will also be a very simple contact page with a contact form. So if you're interested in learning how to build this particular kind of site using the Events Calendar plugin, you're going to enjoy this tutorial. And as always, if you enjoy the video, please do hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new here, hit the bell so that you're notified whenever I upload new tutorials here on YouTube. So without wasting any more time, let's get started. All right, the first thing I want to do here is I want to show you a few things I have done on our website right here. I have installed a particular theme called the Nexta theme. This is it right here. It's by Posey Myth. I know it's not the most popular theme out there. They only have about 200 active installations, but the theme is really good. There is a paid version of the theme, but the free version is really good. And the reason why I chose this particular theme is because the free version is very basic. It has limited functionality. And the thing is, the kind of website we're building right now, the events website, you don't need like a super sophisticated theme in order to build it. You're looking for something very minimal, something that has the basic functionality, and of course a theme that will load very quickly. And the Nexta theme checks all those boxes. But by all means, if you have a different theme you want to work with, by all means you can go ahead and install that particular theme. All right, a few other things I have done in here. I've created two pages, one called the home page and then the other the contact page. We're going to add a couple of pages later on. I have also created a menu, which is the main menu, and I've added just the link for the contact page. We're not adding the link for the homepage because the logo, which I'll show you in just a moment, is going to link to the homepage anyway. So there's no reason for us to add the homepage link to our main menu. Make sure for the display location, you set this one to primary, okay? And then just simply go ahead and save your menu. And of course, under my settings, I have also changed the site title from the default WordPress title to Real World Entertainment. And I've also changed the tagline to the best live events from all over the world. Again, this is not compulsory if you're just building a test site, but if it's a real site you're working on, of course, you want to make sure that your site title and your tagline have the keywords that you're trying to rank for. Okay, let me go ahead now and add the logo. So I'm going to go over here to customize. All right, now with the Nexter theme which we're using, you will have a few additional options. If you go to general, for example, you would see things like the container, where you can change the width of your block editor, your container width, the footer width, and so on. But we're not going to get into that. All I really want to do right now is just to add the logo. So I'm going to go right here to site identity under general. And then, of course, right here we have select logo. I'm going to do my media library. And from here, you can say I have my logo in here, which I'm going to go ahead now and select. I'll make sure everything is highlighted, and then simply click on crop image. And there it is. So that's basically it. I'm going to go ahead now and hit publish. Let me close this one. And this is what my website looks like right now. So I would recommend that you go ahead and choose your theme. If you want to go with an extra theme, awesome. If you want to use a different theme, by all means, use a different theme. Just make sure that you have your menu item contact, okay? And then also you can add the logo so that the header at least looks pretty functional. We'll handle the footer a bit later. So that's it. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next class. The next step will now be for us to install the plugins that we're going to work with. But before we do that, I want to draw your attention to something that you must have noticed if you are using the Nexter theme like I am. You'd see these messages in here asking you to install the Nexter extension. For the purposes of this particular course, we're not going to need this extension, but just in case you want to use the theme for another kind of project, you want to install the Nexter extension because this will give your theme additional functions. But like I said, we're not going to work with them. So let me go ahead and close this one. And then it will also ask you to install plugins like, Elementor, plus add-ons for block editor and so on. You can just go ahead and close all of this. We don't want to work with those. All right, now for the plugins. This, of course, is going to be the central primary plugin, the Events Calendar plugin by Events Calendar. You can see I have installed it right here. It's called Events Calendar, but I've also installed 3 additional plugins or add-ons. The first one here is going to be the event tickets and registration. It's also by Events Calendar. What this extension will do is that it would allow us to create tickets which we can then sell to people who want to attend our event. So it's a very, very, very useful add-on. The next one here is going to be the event single page templates add-on for the Events Calendar. What this particular add-on does is that it will give us the ability to use a different type of template to display our single events. You'll see more about this a bit later. And then finally, we also have the events shortcodes for the Events Calendar by our cool plugins. This would allow us to display our events, our calendar in a variety of ways. Now, there are other add-ons that we could also install to enhance the functionality of the Events Calendar even further. But for now, these 3 would be enough for our purposes. So please go ahead, download, install, and activate these 4 plugins, and I'll see you in the next class. Now that hopefully you've installed the Events Calendar plugin, let me show you a few of its very important settings. Now you're going to see this link right here that says Events. All right, just come straight down here to Settings. When you click in there, right down here under General Settings, under General, you're going to see several kinds of options in here, like determine the number of events to show per page. If you want to activate the block editor for events, this will make use of the Gutenberg block editor. Enable comments on event pages if you want to, things like that. The most important setting in here is going to be the event URL slug. Now, by default, the plugin will create this link for you. It's simply going to add /events. So let me just open this in a new tab and show you. This basically is where all the events we're going to create in the very next video will display. We can also display events from previous dates, things like that. So this is going to be the link that we're going to be working with. All right, let me just close this one. And then scrolling down in here, you have other options like enable the end of day cutoff, which is of course 12 a.m. by default. The default currency symbol, maybe you're in the UK or in Europe, you can change this to pounds or euros or wherever you're from. Default currency code, things like that. And then in here, you'll have the option for your map settings, like if you want to enable Google Maps, the map's default zoom level, things like that. I'm just going to go ahead and save changes. All right. And then on the display, right in here, you do have additional options like, do you want to use the skeleton styles or the tribe event styles? Honestly, I'll just recommend you go with the tribe event styles. The skeleton styles isn't that great to work with. Unless, of course, you're working with your own custom CSS code, then by all means, you can go with the skeleton styles. But honestly, the default tribe event styles is really, really good. And then enable event views, you want to enable by list, month, day. This is perfectly fine. The default view in here is going to be a list. I will show you this once we begin creating our events. And then you have the month view events per day set to 3. You can disable the event search bar, which I don't recommend. I would recommend that you keep this search bar active. And then, of course, down in here, you can do things like change your date formats, date with year, date without year, and so on. And of course, you can also add some custom HTML before your content and also some custom HTML after your content. Going back up in here, licenses, this will be, of course, for the paid version of the plugin, which we'll work with a bit later. Filters only works with the paid version. Integrations, this is for Google Maps, and by default, the plugin will have its own built-in Google Maps API key, which you can see right here. And then imports, of course, you can import events from another file via CSV, things like that. And then, of course, if you want to upgrade to the paid version of the plugin, by all means, you can go ahead and do so right in here. So that's it for the general settings. Join me in the next video where we'll now create our very first event. Alright, let's go ahead to create our very first event, and you'll find the link right here under events. You'll see add new, or you could also just click on the add new button up here. So let's go ahead now and add our very first event, and this one is going to be the Comic-Con San Diego, okay, 2022. And let me go ahead and paste some random text in here describing what the event is. Now, over here on the right, you'll have this thing called the event category. You could decide to create categories for your events, and let me just show you how to do that. So you just click in here, add new event category. In this case right now, I'll just call this one comics, okay, as the event category. And I'll go ahead now and add that one as the category. All right. Under here for the events calendar itself, we can now add the start date. When is this event actually going to start? Let's assume it's going to start on the 26th of August, and it's going to end on the 29th of August, all right? And then for the venue name, right in here, we'll have to create, of course, our venue. I'm going to call this one the Hall H, and then I'm just going to add a random address in here, 203 Poplar Ridge Court, or Wings Mills, add the postal code, add a phone number in here as well. And then for the website link, I'm just going to add the actual Comic-Con website link right there. And of course, we want to show the map link as well. Now, for the organizer, I've also added some names in here like Dick Jones. Phone number is going to be this one right there. Dick Jones doesn't have an email address. I'm sorry, doesn't have a website, but he does have an email address. So let me just call this one Dick Jones 8645 at gmail.com. All right, there it is. You can also add another organizer if you wanted to, but we're going to stick with Mr. Dick Jones. And then for the event website in here, I'll just add the link right there one more time. And that is pretty much it. Okay, because we've installed the plugin, the add-on for tickets, you will see this link right here asking you to, if you want to create tickets, things like that. But since we haven't set up our payment gateway yet for the tickets, right now we cannot create a new ticket for this particular event. So we'll keep this one closed for now. And that's it. One more thing right here would be to set the featured image for this particular event. I do have my poster right here for Comic-Con San Diego, so I'll use that one in here. You also have some additional options, like you can hide from event listings, make it stick in the month view, or make it a feature event. So what I'm going to do right now is I'll actually set this one as a feature event because it's kind of like the big event coming up in August. And that is pretty much it. I'm going to go ahead now and simply hit publish. And there it is. I'm going to go ahead now, view the event link up in here. And there you go. So we have Comic-Con San Diego 2022, August 26th. to August 29th. We have the main image right there, and of course we have some text, and then of course you can see we have the other information in here, like the details, the organizer, Mr. Dick Jones, the venue, phone number, and of course the Google Maps link in here as well. So if I was to go back to the events link up here, just go to /events, you will see right now that we now have the very first event showing up right here, and because we made it a featured event, you can see it in blue. It's highlighted featured. Also, given the fact now that we've created the venue as well as the organizer, if I was to go to events in here and I was to come down here to venues, automatically you're going to see Hall H right now already added, and then of course for the organizers you're going to see Dick Jones in here as well. Let's go ahead now to create another event. So I'll go back to events, click on add new. All right, and let me just check my other screen right in here. What other event do I have? Okay, so I'm going to add the event for the Sting Euro Tour. I hope you like Sting. If you don't know Sting, well, he is, or he was, a great musician. I think he's retired at this point. I'm not entirely sure. I'm just going to go ahead now, paste the text in here. All right, it's going to be 9th of September. It's going to be an all-day event. So it's going to start on the 9th, end on the 9th. Now, right in here, because we've already created a previous venue, you will have the option in here to simply choose the venue that you've created before, or we can just simply add a new event, a new venue. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm just going to call this one the musical hall. All right, that's going to be the new venue. Sorry, let me add that one again. Musical hall. Press enter. Okay, so make sure you press enter. Then from here right now, I'm just going to add a very random address in here. It's going to be in Thailand, in Bangkok. This is postal code. The website link, I'm just going to change this one real quick to sting.com. Okay, and of course for the organizer, I'm just going to go ahead and add Mr. Dick Jones one more time as the organizer. He's the one organizing all the events and this particular website. And then, of course, I'm going to add the website here again, www.sting.com. Okay, let me just make sure this one is a dot. All right, and that is it. Now, for the featured image, I'm going to set Sting right here. All right, and I'm going to add a new event category. I'll call this one music, obviously, and we'll set that one as the category, and that is it. I'm going to go ahead now and hit publish. And of course, if I was to view the event, now you can see Sting. So maybe you've seen this guy before. He's a really, really awesome musician. Anyway, let's move on. That is it. So if I was to go back to my events link right here, under events, click on view calendar. Right now, you can see we have Comic-Con, and of course, we've got the Sting Euro Tour as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to create a few more events, maybe 2 or 3 more events, and of course, I'll see you in the next class. All right, so as you can see right now, I have created 4 other events. I've created one for Salsa Cubana, we have TEDx Talks, Black Hat Convention, and then FIFA World Cup. Now, the thing is, for each of these events, the only thing people can do right now is just to view the details of the event, like, you know, the time the event will take place, the date, the venue, things like that. But we want our guests to be able to buy tickets to these events. Now, before we can set up tickets for our events, we need to set up payment gateways, Stripe and PayPal. So how do we do this? I'm going to go over here to the back end. I'm going to come over here to tickets, go straight to settings. And then right here, you have your general ticket settings. Now you can attach tickets to certain post types. In our case, it's just going to be events. Okay, we're not attaching tickets to any pages. So I will uncheck page, and then you'll have the option to locate or display your RSVP form and tickets form in specific places. You have 4 choices. I'm just going to go with the default, which is below the event details for both of them. And then you have this display number of tickets left threshold. My preferred number in here is 10. So basically, once we have less than 10 tickets, our guests will see there are only 9 tickets left, there are only 8 tickets left, things like that. So this is quite useful in getting people to sign up for tickets as soon as possible. And then if you're integrating your events website with a membership website, you can require your users to log in before they can RSVP or before they can also purchase tickets. You have these two boxes in there. I'm going to go ahead now, save changes. And now let's go over to payments. This is going to be the main topic. So I'm going to enable the tickets commerce in here. Click on save changes. And now we'll have the option to connect to Stripe and then PayPal. Also down here, you have the enable test mode. This would allow you to test payments before you actually connect for real to either Stripe or PayPal. What I'm going to do here is this, okay? I'm going to connect to PayPal first, all right? And then I'll show you how you can test payments using Stripe. Obviously, you're going to need accounts with both PayPal and Stripe in order for this to work, okay? So I'm going to go ahead now, click on connect to PayPal. I already have my PayPal website logged in. So right in here, I'm located in the United States. Okay, I'm going to enable PayPal up here. But before that would work, we need to connect automatically with PayPal down here first. So I'll click on connect automatically with PayPal. Okay, so now you can see I have this window in here. Okay, so you can see that's my email, my country. I'm going to click on next. And now I'm going to have to now log in. So let me now log into my PayPal account. Log in. And so right now you can see that the plugin is trying to connect. So I'm going to click on agree and connect. And that's pretty much it. You don't really need to do anything else. Now it says, okay, thanks for choosing PayPal as your payments provider. I'm just going to click on go back to the website. And there it is. So right now, I'm going to go ahead now and enable PayPal, which of course it's done so automatically. And that's pretty much it. That's all you need to do. So right there, you can see we have the webhooks for completed payments, denied payments, refunds, reversed. Now, if for some reason you get like error messages in here, try connecting again. Trust me, I've done this before. The first time I tried this, I actually got error messages in here. I had to like disconnect and then reconnect again to my PayPal account. So just try it one more time and it should work. I'm going to go ahead now to save changes. So that's PayPal, okay? Now for Stripe, again, you're going to need to have an account with Stripe. I'm going to come over here right now, click on get connected with Stripe. Okay. And let's wait for the page to load. And of course, you can see I have two accounts in here. I have my official account, WebMonkey Online, and then I have my test site account, which I use for demonstrative purposes. So I'm going to click on connect. And there it is. Okay, so I'm going to click on got it, thanks. Now, down here, under general, you have your statement descriptor where you can add the name of your business. You can also enable Stripe receipt emails if you wanted to. You have some additional options in here like, the checkout type, payment methods accepted. I'm just going to stick with the defaults, okay? Now, right here, you'll have your webhook URL and then your sign-in secret. This would work when you want to connect officially to your Stripe account. Now, I'm going to drag my Stripe account right here. Okay, so I'm going to assume that you already logged into the backend of your Stripe account. If you want to connect for real with Stripe, under your developers tab, so let me just go to the home page, okay? From here, you want to go over to developers tab, you click in there, and then from here, you click on webhooks, okay? Then from here, you click on add endpoints. What you want to do is, let me just grab this URL, okay? I'm going to come over here, paste that, and then you'll need to select some events for Stripe to listen to. You can just come down here to select events. You can go with, let's say, charge. Okay, just select all charge events. Click on add events. Okay, and then for the version, I'll recommend you go with the latest API version, which is the one for 2022. I click in there, and now I'm going to click on add endpoint. And there it is. So you will have this sign-in secret in here. I'm going to click on reveal. So this key, I could grab this key right now, copy this key, and then come over here and then paste it inside this sign-in secret box and then save my changes, and then I'll connect officially with Stripe. However, I don't want to do that because I want to show you how you can test payments with Stripe first. Okay, so what I'm simply going to do right now is this, okay? I'm going to go ahead now to enable just Stripe, okay? Enable. Come back down here, save changes. Okay, now I'm going to go back to tickets commerce in here. And then down here, where is it? Okay, up here where you have general, I'm going to now enable the test mode. So by enabling this box, it says that I want to test payments with Stripe and with PayPal first before I begin accepting real payments. Okay, so right in here, you have other additional options like your currency code, currency position. The checkout page is going to be tickets checkout, success page will be order completed, and so on. And then of course you have the emails where would you like to receive the confirmation. I'm going to stick with my own default email address in here. And then you have the confirmation email subject. You have tickets. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead now, save my changes. And there it is. Okay, so I'm going to stop the video right now. In the very next video, we'll go ahead now and test payments with Stripe. Welcome back. So now that we've connected our site to both Stripe and PayPal, and we've set it to the test mode, you'll see up here, you'll see this orange box saying that the ticket commerce test mode is now active. Now remember that we connected with Stripe with the test mode. So in here, you can see right now that Stripe is enabled for checkout. But for PayPal, because we connected to PayPal before we set the test mode active, our connection to PayPal here is the real connection. But because the test mode is active, PayPal is disabled. Of course, I could choose to come in here right now, click on connect to PayPal, and also test payments via PayPal in the test mode. So I'll just repeat the exact same process all over again. Click it to connect automatically to PayPal, save changes, and so on. But I don't want to do that. I just want to test with Stripe. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over right now to my events, and we're going to pick one event to add a ticket to. Let's go with the Comic-Con San Diego. Okay, so I'm going to click on edit. All right. So now let's wait for the page to load. Let me just close this box up here. All right. So right down here, you will see the tickets function now enabled. What I'm going to do is I'm going to click on new ticket. Okay, and now in here, we can add our ticket type. In this case right now, I'll just go with standard. Okay, standard ticket type, description, and let me just say basic perks. Okay, that's going to be the description. And then start sale, we can say the sale started already at 12 a.m. on the 11th, and it's going to end 31st of this month at 12 a.m. All right, so price for this one will be, let's say $19.99 US dollars, and then capacity, let's say we have 100 available. All right, now under advanced in here, you can add your SKU if you wanted to, but I'm not going to do so. I'll just go ahead now and click on save ticket. Okay, but now I will add a second type of ticket. So let's go back to new ticket. Let's add the VIP. Okay, so we're going to have standard tickets and the VIP tickets, and then we'll just say all the perks. All right, and then start sale again, let's say the 11th at 12 a.m. and then it will end on the 31st at 12 a.m. Price for this one will be $1.99, and then capacity, let's say we only have 50 available. Let's go ahead now and save the ticket, and there it is. Okay, what I'm going to do right now is I am going to update the event, and now if I was to view the event, right down here, now you can see we have access to the tickets. So we have standard, and then of course we have the VIP. This is exactly how you would create tickets. But also, let me show you real quick, you could also do the RSVP as well. So right down here, just below your tickets, you'll have your new RSVP. You can click in there, and then in here you can add the type, a description, and then the same old start sale, end sale, capacity. And then you can also enable the can go response, and then simply click on the save RSVP if you want to do RSVP. That's it for adding tickets. Jump in the next video where we'll now go ahead and test payments for the tickets with Stripe. Now that we've created tickets for the Comic-Con San Diego event, let's go ahead now and test it out. Now I'm going to bring over a different browser in here. You can see I am logged out. I am not logged in as an admin. So right now, you can see because we've created tickets, you can see we have the get tickets link down in here. So let's go ahead now, click on Comic San Diego. Let's imagine I want to buy a ticket. So I'm going to come down in here and let's go with the standard ticket, okay? So I'm going to click on one, click on get tickets. So now this will take us to the purchase page. So in here, because we don't have to log in, we have the option to add our email address which is where the tickets will be sent to. So right now, I'm just going to add my name. My name is Alexander Oni. That's my name. My email address, I'm going to use my own Gmail address. Okay. Now, for the payments, let me show you something very interesting. With Stripe, just in case you've never tested payments with Stripe before, when you're testing, you have to use this credit card number in here. All right, 4242, 4242, 4242, 4242, and then you can use any valid future date and also any valid 3-digit CVC number. So we're going to go ahead now and use this number to test out the payments. So I'm going to copy that number, bring this back in here. Let's add a credit card number. All right, expiration, let's say 6th of 2024. And then CVC, let's go with 487. Country, Thailand, that's fine. I'm going to go ahead now and purchase our tickets. And let's see what happens. Note, by the way, that this is a separate page for purchasing the tickets. And now this is also a different page for the order received, the order received content. Now, you can see we have the order number, the date, and then the email that the tickets were sent to. Now, if I was to go back to my own back end in the website in here, if I was to go over to the tickets and I go to home, let's leave this one, go to home. Let's see. Actually, my apologies. You won't find it under home. You actually need to go to events. So let's go to the events page. Okay, right here. All right, Comic-Con San Diego. You can see right now attendees, we have one. That means one person has already bought the ticket. I'm going to click on that one and let's see what it says. It says, okay, somebody called Alexander Oni with the email address of this one has bought the ticket. You can see this is the security code. And of course, we can also now choose to then check them in. So you can see right now that we've actually gotten the result in the back end. What I'll do right now is I'm going to bring over my own Gmail account, my own Gmail address. So let's assume that I am the person who just bought the ticket. Let me just drag this in here. And there you go. You can see right now that I have the message, you have tickets. And then, of course, from alex@webmonkeyonline.com. And of course, this is my ticket right here with the link, with the security code, ticket type, ticket number, and of course, my name, as well as the organizer's name as well. So you can see right now that it is working perfectly. The guest, in this case, me, I am receiving my tickets. And of course, also me as the admin on my own website, I can see the people who are buying the tickets. And there it is. So very, very, very straightforward, very, very easy to use. And that's pretty much how you can test payments with Stripe. Please do not forget, once you're done with testing, do not forget to go back to your tickets. You go to settings and of course disable the test mode. Okay, so right here you go to payments, you go back to under tickets commerce, you come down in here and then you disable the test mode. Okay, so make sure you do this one and then of course save your changes and then reconnect back to Stripe the official way so you can begin accepting real payments with Stripe. So that's it. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next class. Believe it or not, we've actually already completed the main functionality of our website, because as it is right now, users can come into our site, they can search for events, they can view the details of all the upcoming events, they can also buy tickets as well. What we need to do right now though is to make the website look a bit more presentable. As it is right now, you can see the homepage is basically blank, there's nothing in there. And it's kind of hard for our users to find events. So what we're going to do for the next few lessons would be to make our website a bit more presentable. We're going to create different kinds of pages and also use shortcodes for displaying our events in various formats. Now, speaking of the events, I've actually gone ahead to create some more of them. Let me quickly show you. So I have about 12 events in total, or is that, yeah, about 10, sorry, 10 events in total. So I've got 3 events for tech, 3 events for music, and then 2 events for sports, and also 2 events for comics. Also, very deliberately, I created 3 events in the past. You can see Comic-Con Bangkok was back in July 15th and ended on July 16th. And then the UEFA Champions League final was back in June 1st. And then Jazz Festival in Cape Town was back in February 16th. The reason why I did this is because I'm going to show you how you can create a special section where you display your past events that have already gone in the past. Okay. The first thing we'll do though is we'll come down here to settings, come down here to reading, and let's change our home page to display on the home page that we created earlier. By the way, in case I have not mentioned this already, when you've installed the plugin, the events calendar plugin, it will create 3 pages for you automatically. Those pages being order completed, tickets checkout, and then of course the main events page. Okay, so you should have these 3 pages already created for you. I'm going to choose home, save changes. All right, now we're going to head over to the home page, and this is it. Okay, we're going to start adding our events to the page. However, before we do that, I want to show you, remember when we installed this particular plugin, the events shortcodes for the events calendar plugin, like remember when we did this? We're going to use this plugin to display our events in various styles. So if I was to click on shortcode settings in here, this will take me to the page for the plugin. Right here, we can modify how the events would look like, the main skin color, the featured event skin color, things like that, as well as the font families for like the event title, event description, and so on and so forth. However, this is what we are interested in, the shortcode attributes. If I click in here, you will see that we have the shortcode, the general shortcode format in here. And then right down here, you can see we have different types of attributes. And then our attributes have different values. So for example, a template can either be the default, timeline view, or even the minimal list view. The styles, we can go with style 1, 2, or 3, category, date format, and so on. But this is kind of like the general shortcode you can copy. And then you can simply begin to modify the values in here. For example, where you have template default, you could change this to template equals, let's say, timeline view. And then for style, instead of style 1, you can go with maybe style 2 or style 3. However, because we're going to use the Gutenberg page builder, we don't need to copy this shortcode. In fact, we already have the shortcode blocks with Gutenberg. So I'm going to go over to my pages right now, and I am going to edit the home page right here. Before we display the events, let's add like a main title. Okay, so I'm going to click in here. Plus, let's go with heading, and I'm simply going to say something like, welcome to real world entertainment. I'm going to make this one an H1. Let's align the text to the center, and then I'm going to add a paragraph text. Let me just quickly grab some lorem ipsum code in here, paste the text. And there it is. Okay, I'm gonna update real quick. Let's just view the page, make sure this is working. All right, fine. Now let's add some events. I'm gonna go back to edit page. I'm gonna click in here. Now, before you begin adding your events, you can see right now on that text we have the events shortcode block. And then if you scroll down here, under widgets, you also have the events shortcodes widget there as well. Before you add this, please add like a column or a row first. The reason being that if you don't do so, your events will go full width. It will break your page. In fact, let me just show you what I'm talking about. So if I was to click in here right now and just add the events directly, update, view the page, you will see right now that yes, even though we can see our events, it's pretty much going full width and it makes the website look kind of broken. So to avoid this, you want to add your events shortcode block inside of a row or column. So let me just quickly go ahead and remove this. Okay, go back in here, click on plus, go to browse all, and now with Gutenberg, I'm going to go with the columns block under design. Click on columns, and now I'll choose the one column. All right, and now in here, I will add my events shortcode block. Okay. Now, to the right here, you can see that we can modify the values of what we have in our shortcode. For the events category, I'm going to go with just all categories for now. The template, let's go with the default list layout. Template style, I'll choose style 1. Events, I'm going to limit this one to 5. Okay. And I'll scroll down in here. You will have access to, like, do you want to display events from a particular range of dates? And then, of course, enable social share buttons. Yes, I'm going to enable that one. Let's update. And now, if you view the page, voila. Now you can see we have 5 events being displayed underneath the main title. But we can actually make this one a bit more presentable. We can say something like upcoming events. Okay, so go back to edit page. And very simply, I'm just going to click on the plus button in here inside of the block. Let's just add a heading, and we'll just simply say upcoming events. Okay, make that one an H2. And then we can just simply push this one on top. Update, view the page, and there you go. So upcoming events, we have this one. By the way, just to make this very, very clear, if you're wondering, okay, how come this is actually just all upcoming events? If I was to go back to edit the page, and I was to click on the events shortcode block right here on the right, you can see you have the events time, past, future events. You can choose either upcoming, past, or all. The default is upcoming. That's why every event you see in here is basically upcoming. Okay. Next thing we're going to do right now is we're going to add a separate block as well. But now we're going to add specifically for music. So I'm going to click on plus in here. Click on heading again. And I'm going to say musical. Let's just say musical shows. All right. And then in here, I'm going to click on the plus button. Go to columns, 1 column. Click inside again. Events shortcode block. And now here I'm going to go with music. All right. Limit events to just 3. And then we'll just go with all. Okay. I'm going to switch from upcoming to just all. And then, of course, social share buttons. Yes. For the style, I want to show you style 2. Just for the fun of it. Okay. So let's update. Let's view the page. Scroll down in here. And there it is. So this is basically style 2. I don't really know which one is better. Personally, I would prefer style 1. I think style 1 looks a bit more presentable, but this is very, very subjective, of course. But of course, this is style 2. Let's go back in here and let's add one more category. And of course, that's going to be for sports. I'm going to click inside here again. Let's go with a paragraph. And we'll go with sports. Oh, not paragraph. My apologies. Silly of me. We're going to go with a heading. Sports events. Alrighty. And we're going to go in here, add a column, 1 column, click inside, event shortcode block, category, sports, scroll down all the way here to all. Enable the social share buttons, update, and view the page one more time. Scroll down, musical shows, sports events, and there you go. All right, last but not least, let's add the column for the past events. All right, so let's go back to edit the page. Scroll all the way down here. Of course, we're going to add our heading, and we're going to say past events. Past events. Click inside, column, 1 column, click inside, event shortcode block. And of course, right here, we're going to go with the past. And for the style, let's try style 3, update, view the page, and scroll down. And there it is, past events. And style 3 isn't exactly the most attractive of styles. We don't get to see any featured images. Let me change that real quick, okay? I don't think I like that. Let's change that back to style 1. Go back in here. Style 1. Or rather, let's try this one, okay? For the template, let's go with the timeline layout, maybe. All right, let's update. View the page. Scroll down here. And this is kind of like the timeline for the past events, which isn't the best. Unfortunately, I'm gonna go back, edit the page one last time. Okay, I just wanted to show you how the timeline event looks like. Okay, let's go back in here. We'll just go with the default list updates. And there it is. Okay, enough fooling around. Let's just go back in here, scroll down, and there it is. So that's pretty much for the home page. We have the main header, some welcome text. We have the upcoming events section, the musical shows section, the sports events section, and of course the past events section as well. So of course you can add more sections for like more categories for like, let's say, the tech events, for example, and so on. And of course you can experiment with the different template styles, the different types of styles, and so on and so forth. But that's pretty much building out the home page with our events. Jump in the next video where we'll create a separate page for the timeline view. I'll see you then. Let's continue with building out our website. And of course, previously we successfully created the home page with different types of sections for our events. But now we're going to create a separate page where we'll display the upcoming events in a timeline format. So let's go back in here. I'm going to go over to create a new page, and we'll just call this page timeline. All right. So timeline. And of course, I'm going to click on plus in here, columns, go with the one column, click inside, events shortcode block. And then right here for the list layout, we're going to go with the timeline layout. All right. And we can keep this one on 10 events. And of course, we'll also enable the share buttons. And that's it. I'm just going to go ahead now, hit publish. Let's view the page. And there it is. We've got our timeline. And you can see, pretty beautiful, well laid out. And there it is, the timeline of our upcoming events. We're going to go ahead now and add 2 pages to the main menu, 2 links to the main menu. You can see right now we only have the contact link in the main menu. So what we're going to do is I'm going to head back in here and go over to the pages. So just to confirm, you should have your timeline page already created. And then if you don't see the events page in here, that's perfectly fine. We can simply create a menu link directly for our events. So I'm going to go over here. All right. Go over here to appearance, go to menus. All right. And of course, we have the contact page right here. I'm going to add timeline. All right, so we have timeline above contact, and then we can simply come in down here to our events. If you wanted to add like links for specific events, you have access to them in here. You can also add your event categories as well if you wanted to, but we're going to add a custom link. So I'm going to click in here for the custom link, and then I'm going to click on right here, the link text, and say events. And now for the actual link right up here for the calendar, like open the link right here, you can see right now it's just basically my main URL and then /events. Okay, so what I'll simply do is I'll just simply come in here, say / and then events. All right. Alternatively, I'm actually thinking maybe we should switch from events to calendar instead. I think that makes more sense. And there it is, calendar. Let's save the menu. And now we go back up in here, and there it is. If I was to click on calendar, now you can see we have the events been displayed in the calendar format, very professional. And of course, we also have the timeline link right here for our events. And then of course, we'll also have the contact page, which we're going to build a bit later. But that's pretty much how to create pages for the calendar and also for our timeline. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next class. Let's now move on to build out the contact page, and we're going to do so by simply installing a contact form, which we'll create using this plugin here called WP Forms. Now, there's a whole bunch of plugins out there for creating WordPress forms, but in my humble opinion, WP Forms is the best of them all. So please go ahead, download, install, activate the plugin. Now, when you do the same, this will be the very first page you would see. If you don't see this page, that's fine. You will see WP Forms link right here. Just go to add new. All right. Now, the wonderful thing about this plugin is that you have different templates you can choose from. What I'll first of all do right now is just to add the name of my form to be contact form up here. And then the template, I'm going to use the simple contact form template. So I'll click on use template. So this template will provide us with the usual name field, email field, as you can see, and also the message field. Now, if you want to add additional fields to your plugin, it's very, very simple. Right here under standard fields, you can just click on any one of them. So let's say, for example, we wanted to add, let's say, the phone number field, right? In this case, I would go to single line text. All right. And this is the line text right here. Or I could even go to numbers in here and then add numbers as well if I wanted to do so. But we can as well just use the single line text. So let me close the numbers field. And then for the single line text, I'm going to click in there. And then right here, I can change the label to phone number. Okay. And of course, right here, I can make it required if I wanted it to be required. I'm going to drag the field just above the comment message. So now I have name, email, phone number, and then comment or message. Now, regarding the name field, this is of course very subjective. Personally, I prefer just having a single field. So instead of first and then last name fields, let's just have a single field for the name. So what I'll do is I'm going to click on name. All right, and then format right here, you can see we have first, last, simple, first, middle, last. I'm just going to go with simple, okay? I just prefer the simple kind of field. And there it is. I'm going to go ahead now, simply save this field. All right. Now, under your settings in here, this is where you can modify things like the notifications. Okay, once the form has been filled, where would you like to receive notifications? By default, the plugin will use the admin email associated with your WordPress website. And then in here, you can modify the subject line, the from name, from email, and so on. And also confirmations in here, you can modify the text or the message that people would receive once they filled out the form. Or you could even go direct them to like a different kind of page or a different kind of URL if you wanted to. And that's pretty much it. On the setup right here, again, this is where you could create new forms if you wanted to add additional forms to your website. But I'm just going to go ahead now, simply click on save. And there it is. Okay, so how are we going to add this form? Let me close this. Let me also close the other page out there. So I'm on the contact page right here, as you can see. I'm going to go to edit page. And just very, very simply, we're going to use the Gutenberg block to add our calendar. I'm sorry, our form rather. So I'm going to go in here, click on plus. Let's go to browse all. And then you can just simply type in form. All right, in your search box, and you'll see WP forms right here. You can click inside, and now we can just simply choose the contact form. And there it is. I'm going to go ahead now, simply update. We can view the page. And there it is. We have a very, very, very simple contact form right there. And of course, you can make this page look a bit better by simply adding maybe like a paragraph of text, something like, you know, hey, if you'd like to get in contact with us, simply fill out the form below and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. You know, you can do stuff like that. But that's pretty much it for the contact page. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next class. All right, we've gotten to a point where you can either decide to continue with the course or you can just decide to stop. Basically, what I want to do right now is just to modify the footer. As it is right now, all we have is just the copyright text by the Nexta theme. But I actually want to transform the footer into something more like this, where we would have a proper footer with 3 columns, 2 menus, partner, site links, and then of course we'll have the column for social media. So if you're interested in learning how you can build out a footer like this using the Nexta theme, you can watch the next 2 videos. Otherwise, if you're happy with the footer as it is right now, you can simply skip to the video where we begin talking about the paid version of the events calendar plugin. Alright, so before we begin building out our templates for the footer and the header, there's a few things that I need you to do in order to get ready. The first thing I want you to do is to create some additional pages. Now I've created the press page, privacy policy, refunds, and also terms and conditions. Now all these pages are empty. I only just created them so we can have a footer menu. Now speaking of menus, I have created 2 menus. One is called site links. That's where I added the pages for the press refunds, privacy policy, terms and conditions. But I also created a second footer menu called partners, where I just added custom links for, Sundance, Cannes Film, FIFA, and then Latin Fiesta. These are all just, bogus links, basically. So we're going to have two menus in our footer. And then I want you to install two additional plugins. One is going to be the Nexta extension by Postsmith. They're the same people who developed the Nexta theme. This particular extension would allow us to create templates for our header and footer, and then also install the WordPress Gutenberg blocks by Postsmith themselves. This will give us additional blocks for building out the header, the footer, and it's just so much better than the default Gutenberg editor. So when you install both plugins, you will see the Nexta Builder link right here for the theme extension, but you'll also see the plus settings link right here. This one would be for the add-ons blocks. Now, speaking of the plus add-ons, I've actually done a YouTube tutorial over an hour and a half talking about several of the blocks and what you can do with the plugin. There's a paid version and a free version. So in the YouTube tutorial, I covered a lot on the paid version of the plugin that provides you with some really awesome blocks for creating different types of effects and functionality on your site. So if you're interested, you can check out my YouTube channel. Just type in plus add-ons review, amazing blocks for Gutenberg, and I'm pretty sure you will enjoy the tutorial. So please go ahead, do these things, and then jump into the next video where we'll now go ahead to build out our footer. Alrighty, so to build our footer, I'm going to come over here to Nexta Builder. Simply click on Add New, and I'm going to type in footer as the title, footer, and then down here, go to sections, choose footer. We'll have two options in here where we can choose the footer style, normal or fixed. I'm going to go with normal. And then display rules, where would you like to display the footer? Obviously, we want to display it everywhere on our site, so I'll simply choose entire website. Now for the actual content itself, I'm going to click in here, plus, go to browse all, and what I want to do is to use the TP container under the plus add-ons blocks. You'll see the link, the block right down here, all the way down at the bottom. So TP container, I'm gonna click in there. Now the thing is, we need 3 columns. Okay, 2 columns will be for our menus, while the third column will be for social media. We don't have a 3-column layout in here, but we have 4 columns. So I'm gonna choose the 4-column layout. Okay, and then simply just delete the 4th one. So I'm just gonna click just above the 4th one in here, just above, and then simply delete, and there it is. Now, before we begin adding our menus and so on, I want to add a background color to the footer. Now, if you're having trouble trying to select the actual TP container block, you can just go to the list view in here, click in there, and then just simply click on TP container. Now we'll have access to the properties, and this is still a big issue with Gutenberg. I really hope Gutenberg will improve on this. Okay, it should be really easy to select blocks to work with. Anyways, what I want to do is to change the background color. So I'm going to go over here to style, where you have background. I'm going to click on the first option in here, color. Click on the global icon in here, and I'm going to choose this particular color in here. It's not entirely black. It's kind of like darkish blue, but I like the color. So I'm going to go ahead now and hit publish. Let's now go over to the home page, and I just want to see if it's actually displaying right there on the footer. So I'm going to scroll down here, and voila. So awesome. You can see right now that we do have the footer indeed displaying. So it's working. We just need to add content to the footer. So let's go back. I'm going to open this in a new tab. Go back to Nexta Builder, all templates, and then I'm going to choose footer. Let's edit the footer. Now let's add our very first footer menu. So I'm going to click in here inside the first column in here. Let's add a heading. Let's call this one partners. Okay, so partners, and then text, change that one to white. Go back in here, click inside, and now we're going to go over to the navigation block with Gutenberg. So I'm going to click on navigation in here, then click on select menu. Now I want to draw your attention to something. Okay, on the menus you'll see things like site links, partners, and so on. Just ignore this. Okay, I think this is a bug with Gutenberg. all you want to do is just look below classic menus and then just choose the menu that you want to display. So I'm going to choose partners in here. Okay. And to changes, we're going to change the orientation so it's all horizontal, and then we'll come down here to color, click on text, and then choose the white text. All right. Very, very simple. We put the process for the second column, click inside in here, add a heading. We'll call this one site links. All right, and then again, go to text, choose white, click inside again, choose the navigation, select menu, come down here, choose site links, change the orientation, come over here to color, text color is going to be white, and there it is. And last but not least, let's add a social media. So I'll go to the third column in here, click on heading. Now I could type in something like follow us, or I'll just type in social media. I think social media should be just fine. Social media. Okay. Click on text, change that one to white. And I'm going to go back in here, click inside, go to browse all. So what we're looking for right now is social. So I'm going to search for social, and you can see right here we have the TP social icon. This one is for the plus add-ons extension. So I'll click in there. By default, you're going to get Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. If you want to add additional networks or platforms, it's very, very simple. Right down here under social networks, I'm just going to click on add network, click on the network again. And then when you have select network, I'm going to go with, let's go with Instagram. Instagram, we can add the actual link right there. Let's change the title in here to Instagram. And we can add like, let's say like an icon color or red, background color. Let's just go with black. Okay. I know these are not the actual colors of Instagram, but it's okay. All right. Next up, this is a little bit too big. So I'm going to go over here to style, and then icon size. We can make this just a little bit smaller. Let's go with like 30. Actually, that's too big. Let's go with 15. 15. Oh, sorry about that. Image width will not work. Okay, let's stick with 15 for now and see how this goes. I'm going to go ahead now, update. Let's go back in here. Let's refresh the page. Scroll down, and there it is. So 15 worked out just fine for the social media icons. I like that. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram. One thing I will change though would be the alignment of the social media icons. You can see they're aligned to the center, but I want to align them to the left so that it aligns properly with the title social media. You can see right now the menu links and then the main menu title are aligned to the left. So let's do the same. I'm going to go back in here, and then under the social media icon layout where you have extra options down here, I'm going to go with align to the left. All right, update. And now let's refresh this page. And there you go. Much better. So that's it for building out the footer. Thank you for watching the video. Join me in the next one where we'll build out the header. I'll see you then. All right, now for the header, I'm actually not going to build any new kind of header because as it is right now, I pretty much like what I see. I have my 2-column layout. I have my logo on the left, and of course the main menu on the right. So I don't really need to change anything in here. It's not like the footer that only had like the copyright text, so I had to build out a new footer. But for the header, it's perfectly fine as it is. I don't want to change anything. However, if you would like to modify your own header or create a new header, it's basically the same process. You would come in here right now under your next step builder, you click on add new, and of course for the title you will add header. Now down here you go to sections, you go with header. Now with header, the header type, you actually have different options. You can go with either normal sticky or normal sticky. Sticky is the one where the header will always be at the top of your page, kind of like the fixed option for the footer. And then you can also go with a transparent header as well. Personally, I'm not the biggest fan of transparent header styles, but if that's your thing, you do have the option in here. And of course, you would go ahead and also include on the entire website. You come up in here inside the content area, and then you can begin adding your blocks. You can add your navigation, you can add your logos, social media icons, things like that. So you have all the necessary blocks to modify and create whatever kind of header that you want. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next class. I wanted to draw your attention to a plugin that we installed much earlier, that being the Event Single Page Templates Add-on plugin. I wanted us to install this plugin because I wanted to show you what it does. It actually has the ability to display your single events in a different type of style. Right now, this is the default. You typically would have like the main title, you would have the venue, or I'm sorry, you'll have the time, the date, as well as the price of the tickets. You'll have the featured image and then the description, and then you will have the option to buy tickets, and then further down, you will have more information like the organizer details, venue details, and so much more. When you install and you activate this plugin, what it should do is to display your events kind of like this, okay? So now you actually have the featured image, all right? And then you'll have the title and the date and time of the event embedded on the featured image. You will have the description, you'll have the share event links down. And then on the side, in the sidebar, you'll have kind of like a countdown, details, venue, organizer, and a few more content. This is what I wanted to show you. Unfortunately, right now, as it is, the plugin does not seem to be working well with the Nexta theme. See, right now, if I was to go to Event Add-ons, you can see the single page template link right here. This is the link for the plugin. I click in there, and you get this fatal error message. I don't know what happened. A few days ago, it was working just fine. That's why I was able to get it to work on this other website right here. But in the past 2 or 3 days, there's been maybe some update or something like that. I don't know what it is, but there seems to be some sort of conflict between the Nexta theme and the events template plugin. So if you are not a big fan of this style of displaying your events, then by all means you can simply just deactivate and remove the plugin. However, if you really do like this style, then I would recommend you probably have to find a different theme to work with. That would be the only other option. So my apologies. I had no idea this error was going to start occurring, but at the same time, I just didn't want to ignore this fact and just pretend like I never told you to install the plugin in the first place. So my apologies, and hopefully, maybe by the time you are watching this particular video, maybe the issue might have been fixed by then. But if it's not still fixed, then you can either just find a different theme or just simply deactivate the plugin and go with the default template provided by the Events Calendar plugin. Let's now talk about the Pro version of the Events Calendar plugin. And as you can see right now, I am on the product page, and you can see the comparison between the free version and the Pro version. So with the Pro version, you get access to a whole lot more features, such as the premium support access. You can create recurring events, which I'll show you how to do so. You can also view your calendar in more ways, like you've got the week view, photo view, map view, and so on. You've got access to calendar shortcodes. You can work with custom event fields. And if you also like using Elementor to build your websites, the Pro version has Elementor integration, which is fantastic. You also have access to additional calendar widgets and blocks, venue and organizer pages, as well as your location search, events manager, and the filter bar support. So you get a lot more with the paid version. Let me walk you through a few of the features in here. So if I was to go to the events settings in here, you will notice that with the paid version, I'm going to have access to a whole lot more options, okay? So right here, you can now see we have settings for recurring events, and you can modify how recurring events will happen and how they'll be viewed on your site. And then further down here, you have access to things like the events manager. You can see right now I have toggled it on. What this does is this: if I was to click on events right now, the link right here, you will see that I now have access to a different way of viewing my events directly from the backend. With the free version, what you get is just the list view. This is how you would normally view your event. So you just have, title, author, and stuff like this. But with the paid version, because I now have access to this manager link up here, I click in there, and now I can view my events in a lot more efficient way. I can click here for list, for example, view the events directly right here in my backend. So it's a lot more efficient. Now going back to the settings, if I was to go to the display field right here, you will see that we have the option to display our events in more ways. With the free version, you have list, month, and week. But now with the paid version, we have day, we have map, we have photo, and we even have summary as well. Let me show you how this would look like. So right here, you can see on my calendar page, I have the drop down here, and now I can view, say, the summary view right now. So that's the summary view. I can go with like the photo view where I can now view all my events like a gallery. And there's also, of course, the map view as well, where I can view all the events based on their location, as you can see. So you have a lot more options this way. Also, if I was to go back to the event settings in here, right now you will see we have access to the venues and organizers, right? There is nothing strange about this. We already had access to this with the free version. However, with the paid version, each venue and each organizer will now have its own separate page. So for example, I can view the Paris Stadium. I can view this particular page for this location. As you can see right now, that is the location. The same goes with the organizers. The organizers also now have their own separate pages. So as an example, I can view Larry Guba. I can view his own personal page. I can see that Larry Guba has his information, that's his phone number, his email, and I can also see all the events that Larry Guba is organizing. So you have access to these pages as well. So if you want to create pages specifically for your venues, your organizers, you can do so with the paid version. Now, for the events itself, let's click on a particular event in here. Let's go to the Comic-Con event, Comic-Con San Diego. Now, with the paid version, we can do something called creating recurring events. So let's assume that this Comic-Con San Diego occurred every week, as an example, right? Right now, you can see I have access to the event series function. This, of course, with the paid version. So I click in there right now, and right now I can say, okay, this particular Comic-Con event is going to occur weekly. I can click on weekly, and I can say every 2 weeks, and maybe on a Monday. And then I can set the time, and I can also state when the recurring events would end. So I can create as many recurring events as I want. So this is probably one of the best features of the paid version of the plugin, because now you can create recurring events as often as you want. Now, let me drag another page in here and show you the different shortcodes that you can use with the paid version of the plugin. It's right here. So you can see we have the shortcode for the mini calendar. We have the shortcode for the events list, featured view. You can even add an event countdown as well if you wanted to. So you have access to all these additional shortcodes that will work with the paid version. You can just go to the events calendar website. Under the knowledge base, you can just search for shortcodes. So all the shortcodes in here would work with the paid version of the plugin. So that's pretty much it. Of course, there are a few other functionalities like location search, the filter bar support, and so on. But these are probably the strongest features that you get with the paid version of the plugin. Thank you for watching, and of course, I'll see you in the next class. Well, there it is, guys. We've come to the end of this tutorial where we built out the events website Real World Entertainment by making use of the events calendar plugin. If you enjoyed the tutorial, please do hit the like button, share the video with anyone who may feel might benefit from it. And if you're new here to the channel, do subscribe, hit the bell so you're notified whenever I upload a new tutorial. If you have any comments, questions, put them down in the comment section below. I'll do my best to answer as many of them as I can. My name is Alex. It's been a pleasure. Talk to you next time. Cheers. Oh, and as always, of course, if you want to buy the paid version of the plugin, please do use my affiliate link in the box below. I almost forgot about that. Thank you for your support, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.